Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Cybersnowolf, and welcome back to LEGO Arts. So in the last episode, we did a showcase on LEGO Kratos, Greek Kratos from the earlier God of War games. And for this episode, we are doing a showcase on a solo big fig, and that is LEGO Venom. And so this has actually been a character that's kind of been jumping back and forth in my head for quite some time. At some time of whether or not to do. And part of the reason was during at the time I was focused on doing stuff like Godzilla as well as Avengers Endgame. And then once those projects got down, I was thinking to myself, like, what else could I do? And then I finally saw Venom. I didn't see it in the theaters, but after finally seeing it, I thought it was cool. Like I did like the effects. I did like Venom's appearance. It was very unique. It was very, very cool. Very cool. And I've seen like a bunch of other customizers of doing Venom, of like doing minifigures on Venom, and like their own unique style, and that's what I attempted with this one. So this character, it was a lot faster to do than what I did with like Thanos and Hulk, but definitely did have some challenges along the way, and I'll explain that as I go through this video. So as you guys know the whole drill, we're gonna take this minifigure, do a review in it, explain my process, why I went with this route, and then go from there. So without further ado, let's get the pedestal out and get this showcase on the road. Okay, so when looking at this character, as you guys can see, this is sort of a mix between the Sony Venom and as well as the comic book Venom. I chose to go with that route because, again, I wanted to make this character unique. So when first approaching Venom, I decided that I wanted to do big fig format. I know he's not exactly Colossus. He's not exactly as big as Hulk as he is in the movies, but I always loved it on how like the Lego games, of how like they gave Venom the mechanic on transforming of like minifigure size Venom to full blown big fig Venom. And I really, really like that. So I wanted to incorporate that on here. Plus, I rarely do big figs when it comes to customizing, so it gave me an opportunity to practice more with some big fig mechanics. So what I did was my original plan was I purchased a knockoff Venom and off of eBay, and I wanted to use that as sort of like a base for like sort of like some of my ideas. One of my ideas. One of them obviously being the head. The headpiece, I wanted to make it a little bit more monstrous, a little bit bigger. So that was one of the reasons like why I got it. Unfortunately, I did not anticipate of how the character would arrive. So when this arrived in the mail, this actually came equipped with two heads. I knew it was going to come with two heads, but I didn't anticipate exactly how I was supposed to attach them. So the two heads were, one head was Venom with full face, and another one was this one, which is half side is Venom, the other half is Eddie Brock. Unfortunately, if you look at this like little rod. Apparently this head is designed for where you stick like the special stud piece in this, and then you insert it inside the socket for where you're supposed to stick in the head, as if you're connecting it to the neck. It was a pain just to get one of the heads on it, and then afterwards, I didn't fully anticipate it until after I finished sculpting out this head, but like the clay and the paint fused to the body, so I could not remove it. And part of me is fine with that. The other part of me is kind of bummed, because one of my original plans was that like I was gonna incorporate both heads, but have like this head be Venom's like toothy grin, and then the other head be like Venom like with his mouth open and like his tongue sticking out. But afterwards, and I realized that this was stuck, and I wouldn't remove it. And even if I could, I don't want to damage anything, because I already had the same problems with the Nemean assets from God of War. It's just like, okay, let's just leave this as it is. I don't want to tamper with it anymore. So the head was one of the problems that I came across with. Another difficulty that I wish that as you could clearly tell is the teeth. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it back when I did like King Ghidorah for Godzilla, but making teeth is hard. And teeth is very hard on doing characters like these, especially if you're making it like one tooth at a time, and then positioning them in a specific way for where not only do they get stuck, do they like accidentally fuse to like some other teeth, as you can kind of see with what happened here, but also that like they stay in place in place, and they're not like too big or too small. As you can see, it kind of looks weird. It looks weird, especially on the front. It almost looks like he needs like an appointment with the dentist office. Dentist office is kind of what it looks like. It looks like that's. I could probably like stick a little tube and stick a little tube in here. Like if you needed a straw, just go like. There you go. There you go. Good. And now go over and drink or something. But I am still practicing on teeth, so I hope to get better at stuff like this in the future. And if I attempt Venom again and again, I'll definitely like change up the teeth. But I am proud of the head shape design. A design that after like sculpting out with the head and then like painting on the eyes, I was a little bit worried that the eyes were gonna be like a little bit off or they were gonna be like a bit too low from the mouth and not exactly like centered. But luckily, I was using using normal color, like basic colors like white and black. So I was able to paint on the eyes and then like looking at say each of the eyes, come back with some black paint. And fix them up a bit, make them look a little bit more even, and these came out very, very nicely. And as you can see like all the various white veins on here. I'll just say that it's not the best work that I've done. I've seen a lot more. I've seen a lot of customs where they've done like some of the veins with way more impressive detailing. I'm still trying as like my like the best as I could, and I even tried to make them a bit skinnier. So after coming in with after like painting them out, I then went back with the black paint and like sort of chipped off and have like bits and pieces of white paint. And did it all the way around the figure. And it was very difficult of actually finding good screenshots on Venom. Even of looking at like some simple photos of him with screenshots of him like from the movie, or looking at some other customs for like references. I didn't get like a general idea as to what sort of designs where the veins were, how many did he add in the front, did he add any on his arms, how many were on his back. So that was another reason why I did the spider. Because since I couldn't get like a clear idea as to what exactly I was working with, it did make it a little bit difficult on doing Venom. And with the white spider, it didn't exactly come out as I was trying to make it, but I repaired it and just kept going with it, and this turned out pretty cool. I even painted it up for where, if I lift up his arm, I painted it up for where the arm, for where the legs on the spider would go all the way around and connect straight to the back, and then continue on that pattern all the way to like the front and back. And I went back and did some Sharpie to like draw out the legs, which has always been very difficult on drawing stuff like this. But out of all the spiders in the Spider-Man series, I think this one is probably the easiest to draw. Because it's very big, it's not too complicated, and once you get an idea as to how to draw it, it comes in very naturally. So I really, really like that. So turning it back, you can see a little bit of sanding. I also did not come across this until I actually got the figure, like when the figure actually arrived in the mail, and that was the people who made knockoff Venom. They used knockoff Hulk as sort of like a template to paint up the rest of the figure. So you can kind of see of like where the original pants and line is, and you can't really see it because I sand off a whole bunch of it. But around his ankles, where the torn leggings were for the pants. I sand those off, and I even saw that they did the same thing with Endgame Hulk. And it didn't change up Endgame Hulk because, again, I didn't want to damage anything. I don't want to damage anything with the printing, because I was very satisfied with how they designed Endgame Hulk, and I didn't want to damage anything. But I did try to cover it up by adding some clay underneath. For Venom's case, it wasn't really that simple. that simple. I wanted to make this sort of like all as one character, so not really show up like the torn clothes. Because for some characters, I could see why that's pretty useful. Like if you're making the Thing from Fantastic Four, or maybe Abomination, or like some other character that has like ripped pants. I can see Hulk being as like a template to create that. But if you're making a figure like Venom or even Thanos, or some other character that doesn't really have torn up pants, I think it would be better on using like maybe an official Lego figure, like maybe like if there's like a knockoff Thanos that doesn't have the torn pants. I can see that being as a better template on for that, like that smooth like one piece area. And I tried my hardest, but you can still see of where it all is. But I tried my hardest to sand off enough of like the pants, enough of the pants to where like it would all meet up as one. It's kind of worked down at the angles. You could still kind of see for where the original torn pants were, but it's not very noticeable. Very noticeable when you look at it. And all in all, once it was done, this actually came out pretty good. So again, there are a few changes that I would like to make, like the teeth, and if I could, I would still like to have like the two double heads, but I'm not too concerned about that. So I'm pretty satisfied with this thing all in all together, and I really like this. I was kind of bummed that Sony Venom didn't have the big white spider emblem, because I kind of see that as sort of a iconic character identifier. You know, like when you look at the spider, you immediately think, oh, that's Venom, and that's the symbiote, and that's how I know you're evil. For Spider-Man's case, I could see like why they would put that on, but since they did it for like a solo Venom, I can't see of like why they changed it up and not have the spider. But I added this on because again, and I think it's looked pretty cool. Trying it out in the end, and also this was a unique approach that I want to do with Venom. Okay. I'll need to position the lighting. This was another thing that's I wanted to try out for Big Figs for a while. And I've seen like a couple of other people do this for like they take some clay and put it in like the arms where like where the head or like where the hand is. But if I wanted to, I could still like rotate the hand, and it's sort of like blocks off, it makes it all look a little bit nicer, like there aren't any holes in the arms. I wanted to do that for Hulk and Thanos, but that thought didn't cross my brain until I had finished the characters, and by then I didn't remember like which like paint colors I mixed together to make the final colors. So I told myself that like, okay, the next big fig that I get, I want to try this method out, see if it works. And in the end, this works very well, cause again, it makes the arm look complete. It doesn't interfere on like hand articulation. In fact, the only thing that really interferes with it is the paint when it dries. So all in all, I think this big fig came out pretty good. It wasn't nearly as much of a challenge as it was when it came to making Thanos, and even still Brute Boris to this day. But I'd say that this was actually a pretty cool big fig to do. And that does it for this episode of LEGO Arts. I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase. Okay, so I have a couple of my Spider-Man and around out here, like the black suit for the symbiote, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because why not? And aside from the small changes that I would do to Venom and that idea on having the two separate heads, I'm pretty satisfied with this figure, and I hope you guys like it too. If not, that's alright too. So for future, I'm working on some other minifigures for future showcases as best I can. I do have plans to do Carnage. In fact, I was originally going to do Carnage for the showcase, but I decided to push that off because I still need to run through plans of how to do with him, and I'm planning on, if that goes well with him, to do a similar thing to another character for another showcase. I won't say what it is, because I don't want to give out any spoilers. And if you guys haven't seen recently, I now have a brand new camera, for Let's Plays, So in the future, hopefully the camera will work out well. it'll track my movements a lot faster, and so on and so forth. So if you guys want to check out, I got like some of the other minifigures and figures that I've done, like God of War, Benny and Egg Machine, Detroit, Kingdom Hearts, all of those figures, you can check them all out in my LEGO Arts playlist. And if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. It really helps us work on this place, LEGO projects, and really have some fun. So anywho, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment below what you think, share it with your friends, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitch. And here's over the road. Ow! Woo! Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time when the ice moon rises.